Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin Edition, released in April of 2015, is available on PlayStation, Xbox, and Windows platforms, retailing for $39.99. This game is an enhanced port of the original Dark Souls 2 that had only come out a year prior. While this review will be about the Scholar of the First Sin Edition, most of what I have to say equally applies to the original release. You might be wondering why I'm starting with the second Dark Souls game, as one might expect me to start with Demon Souls and go from there. Well, simply put, I wanted to start with the weakest of the Souls games. But don't let that description fool you, as despite being weaker than its brothers, it is still a fine game. As it is a Souls game, there is a single currency in the game that is used for everything. That being souls, in this case. You get souls by killing enemies, and you spend them on equipment, on spells, and to increase your attributes. If you die while holding any souls, when you return to that spot, you will see the souls waiting for you. At least, you see them waiting for you, unless you died a second time trying to get to where you died the first time. Now, this is something in all Souls games, and is always kind of annoying, but here in Dark Souls 2, this can be outright devastating. As unlike literally every other Souls game, enemies spawn a limited number of times. So, until very late in the game, there is a limited number of souls for you to collect. So if you are farming an area till the spawns were exhausted, and happen to die twice in a row without collecting your souls right towards the end of this process, you have just wasted a lot of time and effort, and depending where you're at in the game, you may find it necessary to simply restart at that point. However, there are items known as a bonfire aesthetic that can refresh the spawns in an area. However, they come with a catch. They make the area harder, as if you've completed a New Game Plus cycle. And that will include the boss of the area if you haven't already beaten it. So if you were hoarding all those souls to level up for the boss fight, using a bonfire aesthetic after losing those souls may put you in an even worse situation ultimately. And this is a very odd design choice, as Souls games are sort of a microcosm of life. As you can get lucky, but that won't be you. Get good, as Dark Souls memes like to say, or you can grind. But Dark Souls 2 kind of removes that last option, at least after a certain point. So this effectively means that your options are get lucky, get good, or do a little bit of grinding, and then get a little better at least. This isn't the only bizarre decision in this game. Some of the geography of the map really doesn't make much sense. Like when you go to a windmill and take an elevator up from the windmill to end up at a lava castle, even though there was literally nothing above the windmill. And even when the map has become somewhat surreal, many of the bosses are more pedestrian, just being big dudes in armor. Not all of them by any means, but a significant proportion of them. And while we're on the subject of bosses, sometimes the enemy placement before boss rooms are such that I believe you are intended to fully exhaust the enemy spawns before taking on that boss. Unless you are so good that you can take on 12 enemies at a time without taking a single scratch. I personally am not. But I don't mean to come off as bashing this game, as while many of the decisions made during the production of this game make it an odd Souls game, it is still a Souls game through and through. And if you enjoy the gameplay on offer in other Souls games, I do think this is worth playing. However, if you're new to this subgenre of action RPG that is Souls-like, I would not recommend starting here. And honestly, to both parties, I wouldn't recommend paying the full $40 for this game. It goes on sale fairly frequently on digital storefronts, and is often attainable for only $15. So yes, you should play this, but wait for a sale. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.